Okay, so gonna try to take a look at DECWindows on the emulated VAX running Ultrix 4.5, and hopefully my late night brain is doing a little better than my early morning brain this morning, although it is technically early morning here in Texas. So let's see if we can get some DECWindows stuff. This is all going to have to be a remote session, obviously. So let's fire up an XNest. Let's call that screen 3. Okay, we've got XNest. Let's just see if the simple just exporting DX session will work. Figure out what I'm at. Okay. And what did I set that XNest is screen 3. Okay, we have DECWindows, or at least almost a DECWindows. Let's see. Okay, well nothing seems to be working. Um, let's see, what else can we just see if kill that and do a DX, just a DX term. And we got a DX term, so see if we can do a DX session from here. Okay, that looks a bit better, but no window manager. Get out of that. Again, still no window manager. As you may have noticed, I am switched my uh, laptop's window manager here to Motif because DECWindows is sort of Motif, so to continue the motif with Motif. Um, that isn't working. Let's see if XDM is running. And it does not look like any XDM. So, a little bit of a mystery. Let me just do nmap. Nmap is a command that is so incredibly useful in all sorts of purposes because it'll tell you what's up. A lot of people will frown on you using this because, hey, it's pointed out that this is a 20-something-year-old machine with all sorts of vulnerabilities. It's got login and finger services and daytime. So let's see where we can get to that will do some good. See if XDM is even available here. No, no XDM. I wonder if it is on the install media and we didn't install it. A2A. Hopefully that'll work. No. Oh, I gotta mount it with the read-only. Hope this works. Okay, cool. but I should have installed all the base. So I wonder if it didn't put in unsupported. UX shells. I'm seeing some X stuff here. Mod, man, tools. X, maybe XDM is here. So it looks like from the installation that is set LD. Sorry about this. New command. Set LD. Okay, dash L. Dash D for root path. So hopefully this will give some idea. Maybe the XDM is in here. I just can't imagine DEC would say, hey, VAX is a networking machine. Hey, we have our Unix. XDM CP was, or XDM was a thing back then. You put a Sun machine, it'll have XDM from, you know, Solaris. Okay. This is fantastic. Look at that CPM 8-inch diskette utility. Um, I like that. I guess you might have a VAX with 8-inch floppies. Fantastic. Fantastic. This deserves a little bit more investigation later. Um, but right now I think, hey, we'll put on games. It's 3. Even if this other stuff doesn't do it. But I'm thinking we want 24. And 26. We want fonts. Hopefully that'll work. I have to say that's not a bad package manager. A little goofy. Set LD, I guess, for set load. And had I not seen that during the installation when it was doing the set LD commands, so yeah, that should be okay. I wonder what games it comes with in Ultrix games. If there's just the classic BSD games like you know, Hangman and War Games and some of those other classic BSD games, which thankfully Slackware still comes with. We shall see what is in here. So my experience with DECWindows is pretty limited. Like I say, I've played around on a couple workstations for maybe a grand total of like 4 hours of Ultrix and DECWindows. Again, most people who had a VAX were running VMS on it, and some of the other places had a proper BSD, like a 4.3 BSD distribution. There weren't a lot of people running Ultrix, and I did have a personal DEC station. I wiped out the Ultrix that came on it, so it was probably something similar, one of the 4 series Ultrix. Kind of a MIPS-based workstation. Wiped that out and put Linux on, which was a bit of a mistake, because this is turning out to be an interesting yet antiquated. I'm just really shocked, and I really need to get on the ball and do a video, kind of a head-to-head comparison of Ultrix on the VAX versus SunOS 4.1.4. And now that I got my hands on a 2 gig drive, I now have a 2 gig drive. It came in my SGIO2. That's why I bought the For Parts and Repair SGIO2, was for its small drive that I can put SunOS 4 on, is to do a head-to-head comparison. And why don't we throw IRIX in the mix and some other stuff? Maybe old Solaris, if I can find a Solaris 2.5. Okay, let's see. Still no XDM. Okay, we have an XDM here. I may not have been following. Is that a symlink? Okay. Okay, will this work? Where is my XDM? My XNow. Hey, we've got a graphical login. Get my SimH account. Ah, but just TWM. Hey, let's. No xset root. Do we have an xset root? So, no xset root. Does not seem to be. I'm really gotten so used to the tab completion. I think I've been using tab completion again. TC shell in the mid 90s. That I'm kind of lost without it and start tossing other characters at it. Okay, we can xset root. I don't know why it's not doing the default gray. So that's that. Let me get out of there. Let me get back to the login. So DX session. Let's kill that. Find if we can find X session. No follow. Is this some sort of antiquated find that doesn't work the way I would expect it to? Okay, yeah, that's gonna be hopeless. So we have Etsy X11. No. We do have libx11 XDM. Things are coming together. Take a look at X session here. Ooh, that does not like that. Let's see if Telnet's reporting the geometry better. The directory and X session. And that doesn't like it either. Okay. Let's see. So we have got to. Yeah. I don't want to screw up my X session file. We'll call it mangled there. Why is VI not displaying this correctly? I'll try it again. So I'm sure this is riveting watching, trying to get DECWindows up and running. There we go. Okay. So we don't want Xterm. And we don't want TWM. What we do want is to exec. What was that? User bin DX session. Yeah. Okay, and let's try the XDM again. Passing the no daemon option to XDM just so I can kill it and know where it's at. I know where the process is. And let's use Zephyr just because. Gives us a better resolution here. We can do better than that. Do 1280 1024. Sounds like a good resolution. Hey, this looks like DECWindows. So, got like a message of the day here. Bad value protocol error. Okay. And clear that. Let's see what sort of pause. We'll pause the session. Okay, so a lock screen is pause session. Let's take a look. Book reader. Way to go digital. Early ebooks. Book reader. Ahead of their time. Or maybe behind it. This feels awfully proto CDE, like where they try to have the kind of unified view of your applications up here. This is pretty snappy for an emulated VAX. I'm not at all disappointed here. Let's get out a book reader. What else do we have? CDA viewer. I guess I don't have any CDA files. Yeah, not terribly interesting. Calculator. Let's calculate something. So, shout out to Numberphile and Calculator Unboxings. I can't believe I just said shout out. That's ridiculous. Um, but that's a very entertaining channel. So we'll test for divide by zero. Error. It's what you expect. See, do they have a scientific mode? I guess that has some trig functions on it. Hey, we'll go over to hex. So let's say FA. We go to octal. 372 and decimal. So that, not bad. You get some programming functions. In hexadecimal, do you get some? We go back over to hex. Yep, and you get your logic functions. So nifty little calculator. I know one of the great things about DECWindows is I can have this emulator stood up and bring some of these applications over into a combined workspace. So my window manager can be running on the SparkStation 10, so I can get OpenWindows and have a completely bastardized setup and bring in some of these kind of desk set applications over here from the emulated VAX. And now that I have an SGI, DECWindows is fantastic. And I don't know why it has not more embraced that sort of network functionality now that networking speeds have kind of caught up. I mean, I'm here on a gigabit network. You know, between all my modern machines, obviously the older ones have either 100 megabit or 10 megabit connections, but I don't know why that kind of X-Window sharing is not as common. I mean, the concept of an Xterm, a thin client, I mean, that can be a Raspberry Pi these days, and you have a screen and a keyboard and a mouse. And you have an X client, and then all your heavy lifting and storage can be done elsewhere. Calendar. So I'm not really going too much in the look and feel. I mean, this looks like bog standard motif. Um, in fact, let's bring up a terminal and see if it really is. If it is running MWM. Yep, there it is. It is running motif. So deck term, again, this just seems so proto DT term if you're familiar with CDE. So DECWindows pretty interesting. The color scheme is not too pleasant on the eye, but then my favorite commercial Unix window environment was OpenWindows from Sun. Card filer. Let's start stacking some apps. Okay, create card. Not terribly handy. We've got a deck term open. Oh, let's open up a clock. Okay, it's a clock. Differences. Okay, you got a diff. Mail. Okay. Let's create a mail to myself here. CC root. See if send mail came set up out of the box. Hey. So not bad. Way to go, Digital, for getting Ultrix to sort of work out of the box. Notepad, I guess this is their text editor. Were they calling it Notepad before Windows was calling it Notepad, or Microsoft, I should say, was calling it Notepad? What an interesting question. So this has some interesting desk set items that, in some ways, I think rival what came in OpenWindows. Again, I much prefer the look and feel. It doesn't look like Paint's opening. Maybe it's just taking a while. Yeah, maybe Paint has an issue. I don't want to print screen. I don't have anything attached. What is user executive? Ooh, that core file is probably from Paint. X session errors. Yeah, the clock here is probably all screwed up, so we'll update here. See if I can change the font here. Display. See if I can get the font changed a little bit. Under general. No, but I would trust Digital to get the good VT series emulation correct. So maybe handy to have the deck term around. Yeah, fix that. It's not entirely obvious. So that's what we have there. User executive. Set some stuff to automatic startup. Hey, I am pleasantly surprised and impressed with DECWindows. Two gripes really is why it didn't have XDM running out of the box for remote logins, and second, why they chose these awful colors. This is pretty unappealing. I mean, they got that nice kind of, steel blue background. The X Windows, I guess, yeah, that's steelish blue or light slate gray. All the ridiculous X Windows color names. But why they chose to go with this kind of beige and brown? I guess you can change it. Let's see if we can. Session manager. Set your own lock screen text. Some interesting stuff. Let's see, window. Hey, let's change some. Didn't seem to do much. Background pattern. Okay, there we go. Went and changed our stuff. So this is actually a pretty concise, well thought out well thought out view of DECWindows. Let me see if I have a user account set up on the Sunblade. So let's background that, and we'll do this. We'll set up screen 4. Again, Zephyr and XNest are great tools because you want to run various things various places. DECWindows is fantastic. I typically will just bring over a single X window over the network. So this is the Sunblade here. And let's do OpenWindows. This will just be very brief because I know this video is kind of dragged on a while. But I did want to take a look at DECWindows. I looked at it briefly under the VAX, but of course that limited the VMS. Of course it was on a VAX. Limited exploration a little bit. So this is Solaris 8 with OpenWindows. And OpenWindows I don't think had changed a whole heck of a lot in the intervening years. So this was what, Solaris 8 was 1999. Ultrix was 1995. So that 4 years could make a little bit of a difference. But as you'll see later when we look at the SunOS 414, this looked just about the same. You might not have gotten this a nag screen here. But you get some similar things. You get your text editor, and you get calculator. Calculator is probably not as cool, although maybe it is. Hey, you also get binary as a base option. So I like this. I guess people's complaints, and I don't know, maybe leave a comment below what your thoughts are. The CDE/Motif versus OpenWindows. I wish OpenWindows was set up for modern machines because I would love to run it today. It just does not work. Sun stopped shipping it after I think Solaris 8 is the last release. Sun had with it in it, or shipped with OpenWindows. Like there may be patches to get it to work on 9 and maybe 10. Definitely not 11. I don't think. It's some of it. The XView stuff is available open source. And that works only on 32-bit machines. Right? So it doesn't work on 64, and that's really annoying. I think it's. I mean, I use TWM all the time. I find I'm really fast with that. But if I had to choose a second choice, this would be it. I mean, things just make sense. Resizing, the desk set it came with was pretty handy. You get a couple different types of shells: mail, calendar, calculator. You get a perf meter, a little kind of X loadish thing here. I think it just looks great and it works great, and it's got pinability, so you can pin stuff up there. And think about this in the kind of the late 80s, maybe it was early 90s when this came out. Was Sun still on news? I don't know. In the late 80s, I was like 7 or 8 years old, so my memory is a little hazy there of the state of Unix workstations. But I think this is incredibly impressive. CDE, in some ways, solves some of the problems in that they needed a standard, right? The common desktop. But I still think, OpenLook, OpenWindows was the best of those commercial window manager desktop offerings, partly because of the desk set it came with. If you look over here at the file manager, I mean, you get a very nice file manager here. I think this is fantastic. But again, I am probably biased here. I think this is something that maybe has seen its better day. But if I had my choice, I would choose this over KDE, XFCE, definitely anything GNOME related. But again, my 2 cents. Hope you enjoyed this quick look. I'm sorry, not a quick look. There was 20 minutes of me trying to figure out how to get XDM sorted on Ultrix. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below. Let me know about your favorite window managers and or desktop environments. Again, thanks.